Welcome to our presentation about our invention for the Youth Music Challenge. Well, we're glad that you all are here, and we hope you are too. We are Sadi van der Wekke,
Lotte, Iris,
and Ingmar.
Our ID. When we started to come up with IDs, we had like 20 little IDs. And after shaping and merging some of the IDs, we ended up with 2 solid IDs. We later decided to work on them both. The first part are the earphones. These are based on the problem of how you can access your music in a physical way. The earphones are especially for outside, like when you're on the way running or bicycling. Unlike other earphones, these have special options so you don't have to grab your phone.
The second part is the bed with speakers. This was based on our problem of how you experience the music. We wanted to make the best of experience by making the speakers big and of a good quality. When we talk about experience, we mean situations like throwing a party or falling slowly in sleep with soothing music and everything between.
Orientation. Before we came up with ideas, we had to know what people wanted different about our modern music providers and systems. So we have done a survey and research. We have found that there are around 400 categories of different kind of music. From our survey, we could conclude that people want music providers to know more categories, want to look songs up by a sentence, and when you don't know the correct spelling of the title, you still can't find the song.
Further, we have looked at reviews on the internet. The reviews said that the current music providers have too few genres and sometimes music would stop by itself, even though you still have the app open. Also, the quality was bad, but we thought a lot of people are gonna know these things, and gonna work on them. So what we did is something different. We just wanted to have people give people another way to access their music and to experience it.
Our first ID, the earphones. The earphones exist of 3 components: the earphone itself, the wires, and the charging case. The charging case is a place where you can charge your earphones and hide them away. It's round and meant to grab along when going out. The wires are a little different than normal ones. Our exist out 2 separate wires. The first one is short and meant to be for the part between your ears. These were designed for people who want earphones loose from their phone, but not from each other, probably because they are scared to lose them. The second one is for when you do want them to be attached to your phone, or when in a small occasion the wireless earphones just don't connect to your phone.
The earphones. We have made the earphones so user-friendly as possible. That's why we wanted them to have many options so everyone can make them personal. The earphones have a touch-sensitive outside. The main options are like, dislike, higher and lower volume, 10 seconds forward or back pause, and next to previous song. You can do all those things by tapping and swiping on the touch-sensitive outside. Further, it has built-in noise cancelling and a silicone cap, which you can personalize if you want. All these options are so you can access your music everywhere and how you want to. Whether you are running, walking your dog, studying outside of home, you can listen to your music without huge struggle of picking up your phone.
Our idea is just a normal bed with 2 speakers on both sides of your pillow and an absorbing layer underneath it. What this layer does is absorbing vibrations so your neighbors are not disturbed by your music. The main function of the bed is helping you with your sleeping problems. When you want to listen to music, in bed, it's always a huge struggle and never comfortable with headphones or earbuds. You are not able to lay on your side because it hurts, and then you have that wire, which always ends up around your neck or get pulled out of your phone.
So, what's the solution? Just no headphones or earbuds at all. It's just speakers on both sides of your head. So you can listen to music and rotate freely in bed. What's new about our invention? It's the absorbing layer and the software that goes with it. The absorbing layer makes it that your neighbors don't hear the vibration that the bass sometimes gives to the ground. The software does lower the volume when you're trying to fall asleep, so your neighbors don't have the problem that they hear your music, and you can fall asleep slowly with the lowering of the music. The speakers, on one side, it has a nightstand, which can charge your phone and can connect with the earbuds. So they can exchange their information about your liked tracks, your disliked tracks, and they can download stuff you might like and give that information again.
Insaloir. It's fun to say, hey, let's do 2 ideas, but that's not good enough. There has to be a connection between these 2. So we have come up with an app, Insaloir. For the ones who didn't already see it, it's a mix-up of the first 2 letters of each of our names.
The app is designed to work good with both the earphones and the speakers. For the rest is the app not any different than other music providers, except for how you find your music. The plan is that when you open the app and look for music, you have of course your old friend type it in for yourself, but we also want a list where you can find every genre that exists.
In the app, you can say how you feel, so that it gives music that you might like on the moment. For example, you're sad. You might want sad songs, but it sometimes throws in a happy song just to try and make you happy again. You can also look up songs by text or by just humming the melody, because no one always remembers that one song.
This is the end of our presentation. We hope you have found it interesting, and if you have any questions, you can ask them now.
Thank you. You have a lot of ideas and combine them. And I think in general what we can say is for any one of the presentations, right? Most of the problems that we face from all your perspective is actually that we cannot search the music we want in the best way we currently perceive we could, right? So that's interesting information. Also good that you show that you want to browse sometimes, want to search sometimes have different options to find what you're liking and your mood, and making people more happy. I like that as well. And indeed the same problem, right? How do you get people to sleep? And using music for that, so that's a real good application, I think, as well. I was wondering, did you think of maybe that a mattress can be the vibration?
Yes, we also thought of that, but the problem is that we also thought just put bass speakers underneath, so that's it gives vibration to the whole system. So it doesn't need the mattress to vibrate, because the whole system does it, but on with that vibrating layer underneath, your neighbors don't notice it at all.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
I'm just curious. You've talked a bunch about being so conscientious about your neighbors. Is that something that's common in the Netherlands? Definitely not in the US. I've never cared about any of my neighbors.
Yeah, I sometimes have problems with my neighbors telling me to calm down because I'm too loud, or yeah, because I play guitar. So they always say to turn the volume down a bit. So that was our concern.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this presentation. That was very interesting. You actually addressed a lot of issue about music. You were like very dedicated to like address a lot of different aspects of listening to music. So that was very interesting. One of the aspects you mentioned was actually context-based recommendation, because basically you want to provide the right music when you're in bed, when you're outside, or when you're even sad and that you want to make you happier in some way. So how would you do that? Hard question, I'm sorry. Or more generally, what other kind of application of context you can think of, and what kind of music you will recommend in this context?
Well, mostly people listen to music when they have a specific mood or want to be in a specific mood. So, yeah, well, when you are like sad, we have like a button and you can go to a list, and then it's like from sad, and you touch, yeah, you click it, and then like one. Do you want to be happy, or want to go to happy, or do you just want sad music and be sad? And yes, but some people want that. And then it has recommendations, and first it just plays, but you still can go next song and that sort of things.
Thank you very much.
Great presentation. I especially liked all of the different things that you were working on. Very ambitious, lots of different things. My question was, I think you mentioned something about having a big list of all the different genres, all the different types of music. How would you help your users pick the right one? Because there's not just 10 or 20, there might be hundreds or thousands.
Yes. Well, we actually wanted also to have, we also wanted to have like a random playlist, and then you click that, and then it's just random songs, and then you can look up what of genre it is, and you can like or dislike it. Yeah, and so you know more of genres.
And with Spotify, you have that option when you haven't got premium. That little clip of a song, which tells you what song it really is, and if you like it. That we have like 5 options per genre, which really resemble the genre very well. So you can listen to those little clips, and you can pick the genre that's right for you.
Thanks again from me then. I don't really have a question, but I really liked your feedback system on the earphone, so to make it really easy to provide feedback on the music you listen. And the second thing is that if you finally build the bed and maybe we can transform it a little bit into a chair, and then we can use it in libraries or public spaces to listen to music. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ari.
Oh, okay. Make it a vote.
So thank you very much. There's one tiny detail that I just loved about your presentation, or what you just said, is that sometimes people are just sad and want to listen to sad music, but also you have the option to go from sad to super happy. And I guess we should focus more on such emotional transitions. So it's really an awesome idea that we all in the research community should address more often. So thank you for pointing that out. Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. A wonderful presentation.